live, baby.
Let's go. I was waiting for it over there.
For you to do it. I was jumping on that one.
I was gonna go in with a little remix over there, but I didn't want to break into that too early over there.
Sorry,
I don't want it to meet.
Boom boom chew, boom boom chew. Thought we were gonna do that one.
Classic over there. I was gonna go start it off with obviously like the classic, the gang. That'll probably happen a couple times throughout the stream tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, we could save a couple of those probably, right?
I'm honestly, I said it over in chat today to Slumber Shark. I said I'm really scared of the memes that may come out of this stream later inside the chat. I have no idea what's gonna happen because anything goes when it comes to derps, especially over in that Discord, man. They generate memes in like 2 seconds. So
they're quick with it.
Yo, we came with it though this week. The thumbnail is loaded up with some Easter eggs, so I hope you guys have been paying attention to that. So that's going to tie into a little fun giveaway we got going on later inside the stream here. And tonight's just all derps. We're focusing the whole entire stream on derp. There's no extra stuff outside of that. So if you guys came in for anything else, tune into the podcast later this Friday. Tonight is Derp Hour. We're going to knock this out. TJ, you got a little bit of sickness going on right now. Is that what you said? He's like, I got a fever, guys. I can't make it. He's like, actually, I'll power through for an hour with you guys.
I can feel the fever breaking out. Actually, I'm starting to sweat a little bit.
Oh, we got kicking in. Is it because of the news we're about to get into?
I think so.
There it is. Well, again, welcome everybody to F35 Live, our weekly live stream. We're here every Monday night from 9 p.m. Eastern to tonight. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to 11. Maybe we won't. But I can promise you this is we're going to have a fun first hour here. And dude, guys, remember last year, the rocket ship? It was ready to go. It was on the launch pad. We were just waiting. And here we are a year later, and it's a funny position because we've been here before, and it just feels that way at least. And we brought on none other than the perfect guest tonight to go ahead and get a chance to dive into some of the derp right now. I see chat lighting up right there. So shout out to everybody over there who's hanging out with us.
Dive into the derp. All right.
I don't even want to do all the chat. Actually, let's go a little chat run out before we get going tonight. We got Cloud, Granddad, Crypto, Moose Slayer, Time, Line Post, Mike Play, Drew, is it JK Artico? I still can't pronounce that right. I'm still going with that though. Knife Bait, Curly Knox, Malau. Sorry, dude. Malou. I still like Malou gaming. Rena Red, Drew, Shiz. Shout out to the Shiz. We got Rez over in chat, F35 Mod. Slumber Shark. Yo, watch out. We might cut it off tonight. I don't know. We got Alec, Hugs Not Rugs, Super Heavy, Drew. Man, we got a lot of people actually over here tonight. Anybody else? Arrow Art, Ozzy. Anybody else you see? Grimmy. Watch out for Grimmy over there. The F35 Lore Master, Mopar. You've got, dude. You guys could chime in here. I don't need to shout everybody out.
You got it. I want you to mess up some more. Keep going.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt your flow. I was going to say
Shaman and Quarter Water. Crypto Shaman. I can't keep up. I got too many derps over there. Shout out to everybody else who's hanging with us right now. There's too many to route. I just skipped to the bottom over there. Otherwise, we'd be here all night doing this. So, guys, I hope you guys have showered and I hope you guys have pooped tonight because we're about to get into it right now. Look at TJ's face. He didn't even get the reference yet. He doesn't get it yet, but you soon will, guys. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight, guys. Let's welcome in the founder of Derp Birds, King Dave. What is going on, man?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Doing good, dude. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm a little sweaty already, so yeah, TJ, we can have a bit of a competition.
Sweat battle.
I'm sure I will outsweat you for sure on this during this hour.
Well, dude, welcome onto the stream. I know that intro got a little intense. We're not used to the chat blowing up as early as it is right now, but knowing that the Derp community's here with us tonight, it should be a fun one. So we're excited. We're ready to get going, and we appreciate you jumping onto the stream, man. It's been literally almost a year right now since the last time we had you on.
I think it was. Yeah, things were pretty parabolic last year around this time. All I remember is it was around NFT LV, right, around the same time. But I remember the exact date. But yeah, something like a year.
I remember. Tommy, I mean, of course, derps show up. That's something we've been talking about for years, a year, 5 months, past week. We always say that every time they come up. We always say how much they show up and why that makes it so enjoyable, even just on Twitter.
I'm glad to hear you say it makes it enjoyable because, like, literally going back to just like the start of Derp Birds, like there were people. I don't know if you guys remember, but Thor in 2021 he did a roundtable. It was like December. It was like it was like
right around New Year's almost.
It was right around New Year's, like the 27th or 28th or whatever. And a topic came up around how wild right after I first met Derp Birds were, that people were just blocking so many people, because if you tweeted anything about Cardano NFTs, like tweets would just get obliterated, just like derp. So yeah, it's kind of been our thing.
I love that though, man, because
that's
that
something
makes
we've
it
liked
more
since the
fun.
beginning. Yeah.
As a content creator, man, like you feed off that energy, you feed off the chat sometimes, and just the community around, and especially in a time like right now where things aren't necessarily the most fun for a lot of different things going on inside the space, and it's just a tough market in general. But it doesn't feel that way over here right now, which is really nice to see. And it's also great to see that you guys coming up on your 2-year, which also congrats on the 2-year anniversary. I came up a couple days ago.
Yeah, just a couple days ago. We didn't last year. We had like a huge celebration. I did a live stream, and this year things are very busy with just with everything going on, especially like with today's announcement and everything. There's just been a lot of work going on behind the scenes. But yeah, we sort of celebrated last week.
Yeah. Dude, it's a big milestone inside the space, that's for sure. 2 years is nothing short of also just the commitment you guys have put into it. And I know listening to some of your story too, that you were able to keep your job while still doing this, to be able to support and grow Derp. I can imagine that's a hats off to you for everything that you do, because we all work full time too, and we know the time it takes just to do what we do. So I can imagine running a full project the way you guys have, man. That's some true dedication and commitment to be able to do that successfully.
It's a lot of work. I mean, yeah, shout out to you guys and all content creators. Like I think I am probably the worst about this on Twitter, but we all talk about builders, right? And I think content creators oftentimes get left out of that. But the amount of work that goes in, especially to higher production, like you guys are here, consistent. You have to come together, like the scheduling. I can't even imagine how tough that is, just coming together and remaining consistent to do that. So shout out to you guys. Like, I think content creators are often left out of the builders sort of group, but it's tough. It's tough, definitely working full-time job and doing anything consistently.
100%.
I don't know if you feel it too. I mean, you may have a great job or whatever, but sometimes though it also is just a struggle, because it's like we enjoy doing this so much, but of course, you got to have the salary, pay the bills, make sure things are safe and secure. So it's like and I work from home, so I'm sitting here like I work 5 feet away from where I do this. So I actually had to make 2 separate desks, because I used to work on this too much and would skip work things. Like, hey, Tommy and TJ, I made a great intro for us today, but I also didn't do work for the past 2 days.
Dude, 100%. I do. First of all, I do have a great job. I'm very thankful for it, in case my boss finds this video. I'm super grateful. He knows about Derp Birds. I've had this job for 4 or 5 years, and he knows about Derp Birds. But dude, it is all I can do, especially right now. Like, I mean, look how I feel like I look so dead, because I'm up at 4 a.m. It's only 7 p.m. my time. It's almost my bedtime. I usually go to bed around, like 8:30 p.m. or something. Yeah. So I'm super consistent on that front, but it is all I can do. Like today, I totally just ghosted a meeting. We had the big announcement today, and there's a huge response to that. I was just like, I'm just not gonna go to that meeting. So literally, I mean, it's 7 p.m. I'm living with the in-laws now. Again, more sort of commitment towards Derp Birds. Like, just it's nice to be here because they're taking care of a lot of other things. But I ran downstairs, had dinner. That was it. That was not even an hour ago, and then came back up to prep for this. So yeah, it is all consuming, and it makes work really difficult. Nothing is as fun as Derp Birds. Sounds like it's the same for you guys on content, but yeah, I know how it feels.
It's a tough real world balance, right? Where it's your passion is one thing, and especially it's fun to see that success where you're I want to spend a little bit more time, and like you said, you're kind of torn with it, but obviously the goal is long term for most of the stuff to try to be able to meet somewhere in the middle, or like you said, follow that passion full on when that time is right. So you guys seem to be positioning yourself into a way right now that you're at the top in the forefront of Cardano NFTs at the moment, and not only that, the branding that you guys have. It feels like it can easily transcend just being in this Cardano little niche right now. Outside of any NFT or any blockchain, your IP is so unique in a sense that it's so different, and the community is just off the wall, but at the same time super supportive, that it feels like it's a fun place to be, and that's where people usually enjoy it. At the end of the day, even if the money's not where they want it to be, they enjoy what they get out of it. We'll keep them around.
Dude, in that statement you mentioned basically my 2 favorite words, community and fun. Like that's it. Like really, obviously can't speak for everyone, but a large part of the Derp Birds community, like regardless of, I mean, this market's been brutal. It's just been tough. It's been tough for builders of all kinds, but it's just tough for everyone. It's a real drag on everyone. And Derp Birds Discord like has just remained, you know, more or less the same, and I love it. So yeah, it's tough.
You make a good point. You said kind of the same, and that's something that because you know we're on the blockchain, so like we say, hey, congratulations to 2 years. Technically, all the projects that rugged in the first 5 days 2 years ago are still around. They just maybe not, you know, developing anything. But that's where that's the big distinction to me, is that it's been 2 years, but when you go into the derp space, when you still see them on Twitter, when they show up for our shows, it feels like it was the first week when we were talking about it or getting into like your announcements. And it's felt like that, you know, every kind of step of the way, where you've been able to maintain that kind of same feeling, because you've also continued to develop and keep up with the space, that's the biggest accomplishment in those 2 years. Isn't just, you know, hey, everyone survives for 2 years because it's on the blockchain, it's eternal, I guess. But to keep that is something really special, and something I think, I mean, it'd be tough to name projects that I could say would be up at that same level. And then are only now still just getting like building the steam, you know, not even quite there yet.
I mean, it is tough. Like it is building for 2 years, like anything, again, even if it's a content, like it's a YouTube show, like it's tough to remain consistent and do that. Obviously a lot of the challenges about building Derp Birds is, I actually tweeted a bit about this. It was in a comment in response to someone who tweeted on one of Cash's tweets today. But one of the big challenges is of course like having the perseverance and the fortitude, the stamina to like remain regardless of how difficult it gets, regardless of how maybe overlooked, you know, you may feel that your project is for a certain period of time. That's difficult. The financial side of things, incredibly difficult. But it's it does feel, you said there at the end that like sort of like watching projects like start to pick up steam. I kind of feel like it's taken 2 years for us. Like we had that moment last fall where things really got, you know, super heated, but I kind of feel like right now we're it feels early for me, with everything. Tommy, you were talking a few minutes ago about like just how everything comes together with the branding, the community, everything that we've done. Like it feels like it's taken this 2 years to get things where we really want them to be so we can start. And that sounds weird because 2 years is a long time, especially in Web3. But yeah, it just sort of feels like we're getting to that point now where we said it today in the announcement, and Bajuzki is a huge part of this. But especially with the merger, with the acquisition, it feels as if 2024 can be whatever we want it to be. And again, it's because of what you guys have just laid out. We have the community, you know, we've put a lot of emphasis into that. We have the foundation. I feel like we have the branding, we have the IP. You know, a lot of focus has gone into that, and it kind of feels like we're just ramping up to get started.
Yeah, I think it's great that you guys are able to adapt so well with the space, and you're so dialed in with how things have changed the past 2 years too. You guys have, you know, changed things up to where you want to go with the project and what you want to do. So I think hats off to you guys to constantly adapting with the times and the change of the space.
100%, dude. That's where I mean, we were one of the ones that pretty much minted anything way back when, but for whatever reason, Derp Birds was one of those ones where we were like, I don't know about this one, because it was just like, it was derpy, like the art. We were very like vocal about it.
We were very art focused, and if it wasn't like, it's like, oh, this isn't like a badass monster truck robot dinosaur, like I'm not buying it. And then
you caught our attention like with the incubator. That was like, you know what, I'm buying a Derp Bird. I bought an Epic Bird at that time. We did the incubator, and I was sold after that point, because I was like, they're doing multi-sig mints back in November or whatever it is of 2021. Who's doing that right now? These guys got to have something up their sleeve. There's more to this project than just these little Derp Birds right now. And then you saw the community start to kind of come together. And I mean, like I said, we were reminiscing about the drapes when you guys had dropped those, just the Derp Apes over there, and how that website was kind of like a little stealth drop almost. And then to the point where more and more people started to find out about it, and it broke it, where you guys had to like, hold on, we got to shut this down. Like, actually, because we got way more demand than we thought this would be. So we remember like the score you guys had was such a cool like come up, and it feels like you guys have scaled at such like an appropriate kind of level of like what you kind of dreamed to do do if you're an NFT project, like with your actual growth. You don't stagnate. You guys, if anything, you keep surprising everybody, which I think is what been a big testament to what you guys have been able to build, and also why the community is just, you know, continues to thrive out there and attract new people. I've seen a ton of new posts about people jumping on the Derp Birds trade, which is a really good thing to see.
Oh, dude, the last few weeks have been pretty wild. Like between Outposts and just again the Derp Birds community showing up. I've been saying for like 6 weeks or so now. I've been alluding to it in Twitter on some of the other shows I've been on, that there were two reasons why I feel so like bullish on Derp Birds right now. And one is always community, right? They're showing up, they're active, they're here. We asked them about 2 months ago, like, look guys, we're about to enter this new phase of the project, and if you guys show up for us, like, we're going to be here no matter what. But because we're here, we're asking for you guys to be here. We're asking for you guys to be present, active, engage with us, engage with the rest of the community. It is what's required in Web3. It's just a part of it. Like, we don't make the rules. That's just what it is. We asked them to show up. They did. The other reason, you know, that I've been so vocally kind of a dick on Twitter, like just so like just like wildly arrogant lately around Derp Birds, is just because of the news we dropped today. Like that's been in the works for a little bit, and again, with just in the last 5 weeks, like the number of things that we've been able to get through, like improving velocity, it's insane. I think, again, comparing it to the rest of the 2 years of our history, like nothing. Even that phase with the incubator, like we launched in September of 2021. A month later, we did the incubator. A month later, we did multi-segments with Derplings. That was pretty fast. I feel like the progress that we're making on things right now just completely trumps that. So it's easy for me to be kind of an asshole on Twitter right now.
Hey, I say, you know, you proved us right the first time. You know, I think you're a man of your word when you jumped onto our show. I remember you put out that tweet of why, like, invest in us right now. Like you put that big tweet out. I remember that whole thread, and everybody was like, I mean, it's one of two things, right? You're like, yo, this guy's just full of himself, he's full of shit, and they watch this tank into oblivion. And you were like, no, man, I called it. You know, the rocket ship, it's getting ready right now, and then we saw what it did last year. So I feel like, you know, we pay attention now when you guys are like, hey, you know, we got some stuff in the works. So I think let's start to get over here. Otherwise, we're gonna break. There's so much to cover in such a short amount of time. But let's start it off, because I know I see a lot of people over in the chat ask about it, and obviously with the news dropping today, maybe get a little bit more details other than what's on this thread here. But Bajuzki over here, the vamp, I just know him from the Vampire Invasion. Also, if you were an early minter back then, I still have my attack on Vitalik, I think, like one of those episodes, like way back when. So you guys have officially acquired it in a market right now where we see so many projects that either are running out of funding, where they're soft rugging, they're rugging completely, they're selling for $1, whatever the case may be these days. You guys are over here acquiring projects that you're looking to build up and grow your brand over here. We saw that also with you guys with Fortress Labs from the Mutants team, and now over here with Bajuzki. So can you kind of elaborate a little bit why Bajuzki, and what does this mean for Derp Birds?
Well, I have to save some of the juicy details for my Twitter thread that will that'll come in the next few days. But I will I'll definitely give you guys more of the story that we haven't talked about, which is so yeah, I reached out to them. It was only about 2 months ago. I was asking them about their bandwidth for artwork. We have a whole lot of stuff. You guys may have heard. We have a whole lot of stuff in the works all the time, and we always have need for art. And of course, you guys know we worked with Cosmo from Pendulum, great friend of mine. We worked with Golden, who I love. He did the Pred V2 stuff. Golden did Derp Birds 2.0, but they have their own projects. They also are both recent dads. They have a lot of stuff going on.
Oh wow!
And we always need artwork. We have so much stuff that's coming up. And so I reach out to them just to inquire about their bandwidth. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but they did the artwork for the Don't Give a Fuck NFT collection for that meme coin.
Your meme games are on the same kind of weirdness level right there. They're like, I think they may actually trump you guys on that in some aspects. But
they're weird. They're weird.
100%. But it fits very well.
It's
with
perfect.
What you guys
that's what we
on.
like. We like weird. Yeah, for sure. It keeps it interesting.
It really does. Like we're trying to like find this right balance of like, we want to be family friendly, you know, but we also want to have like this other side of the project that's definitely, you know, a little more Adult Swim or something. And they definitely bring
We coined a word for you guys over here. It's the little ticker over there. It's not safe for derp. Instead of work, you got not safe for derp over there. You need a chance, like,
but everything
like the late night. Everything. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That DCA post over there, they get us. I need to get a filter on there to blur those out. But yeah, no, continue. Sorry.
So approached them about their capacity. We were just looking for someone else, and it was because we heard of how quickly they did the Don't Give a Fuck collection. I want to say it was 5 days. There's like 35 one-of-ones, 150, 160 traits or something like that. So it's not the most diverse collection, right? Compared to Vampire Invasion that has, I think, 1,000 traits. Yeah. But they did that in 3 to 5 days, something like that. The Don't Give a Fuck collection. So I was like, these guys, yeah. And I knew they were OGs. You guys might remember we did small collaboration on Derplings. There's the Attack on Vitalik sort of vampire robe Derpling. Yep. We actually hit a little clue to that in the trailer, in the Outpost trailer. And there's a couple Derplings up on the stage, and one of them has the Attack on Vitalik. Yeah, he's got the Attack on Vitalik robe.
Is it in this one, or is it the actual Outpost?
Yeah, okay. It's this one just at the end. And yeah, so you see him up there. He's got this Attack on Vitalik flared robe and everything. So,
nice.
But anyways, talk to them. Reach out to Jacob. Jacob, by the way, you guys are gonna hear me say Jacob a lot. Like this guy. I love this guy. Okay. But Jacob is the one of the original founders of Bajuzki Studios, of Vampire Invasion, Attack on Vitalik, all of that. And we started chatting. Moved it to Discord from Twitter. Like really hit it off. I feel like I'm telling the story of when I met my fiance, but really hit it off. And I mean, right away I could tell, like, again, there's so much circumstance in the space, right? Like there are amazing projects that never fully get the recognition they deserve. There are projects that are kind of mediocre and blow up, right? Like there's just so much circumstance in space.
Yeah.
And getting hearing more and more about Jacob's story, the story behind Bajuzki Studios. I mean, I don't want to share it. You know, it's a lot of it is not for me to share. But I was obviously really impressed by what they've been through, what they've been able to deliver, despite the little recognition they've had, despite the limited resources that they've had.
Yeah.
And I think I have been given the credit for a lot of the announcement today for the acquisition, for the merger. This was Jacob's idea. Nice. I'm not kidding. I'm not even kidding. Okay. Right out of nowhere, like we're chatting in Discord. Like I go to bed one night at 8 p.m. and wake up like the next morning at 4 a.m. and this guy has sent me a proposal. Literally this drafted document of this idea that he had. And yeah, that's how it started. It was basically he was saying, hey, you know, you guys, I'll paraphrase it. You guys have the IP, you have the brand, you have the community, the marketing. We have builders, tech, arts, and so on. And what I tried to vocalize this in that thread today that you're looking at right now. It really is. It really does. Not only do they like this image here, like there was no input from me. I basically was like, yeah, like I mentioned, like obviously they're familiar with their style. They're super intimate and familiar with the project.
Yeah.
But they just get it. I mean, like if this doesn't prove that,
if you had nothing to do with this picture, really, then they definitely get it for sure.
I didn't realize
100%.
This was done by their team.
This is done by their team.
Wow.
Pretty much everything that you've seen.
They nailed it.
Everything that
100%.
Dude, they just absolutely crushed it. They absolutely crushed it. So they sent the sketch at some point, and I had some ideas which they didn't even use, and they came up and this is what we got. It's absolutely incredible. So
this would be really cool if you guys sold this. People would buy this for sure, myself included.
I definitely need a big one on the wall back there, which is awesome. in the works.
Awesome.
But yeah, long story short, they initiated the conversation. As soon as we started really talking about it, you know, we really grilled them. Like obviously we're not going to attempt this with just any random team.
Yeah.
We had a lot of questions about like, their past, everything that they'd been through. And it became like just immediately pretty clear that it just made so much sense. Again, they had exactly what we need, literally exactly what we need. So a funny story I'll tell as an aside here. I was at Rare Evo a few weeks ago. And there were a few people that I sort of hinted at. I let some people know that we had acquired a team, and there were a lot of people who were guessing. We didn't say who. I told one person there, Oh my god, I'm totally blanking. Patrick from Inmaker. I'm
Yeah.
totally blanking. And we're at the Ape Society after party, and I'm sort of chatting, and we were talking about scaling teams. I was asking him a lot of questions about the Inmaker team and how large were they at their max, and then what are they at now, and funding, and how do you pay for that. And I mentioned him. I was like, yeah, we're actually sort of making a play right now to scale the team. Obviously, have to be super cautious because funding is very difficult to juggle right now. And he asked, and for some reason, you just see Patrick and you just trust this guy. And so I told him, and he was like, he turns and looks at me. He's like, that is so perfect. He's like, he's super familiar with the team. He knows Jacob, all their backstory. Because you guys know, as you said, like Attack on Vitalik, that predates Derp Birds. I mean, that was like June or July of 2021. So they've been around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 100%. So I guess in a long story short, you're able to incorporate obviously some, like you said, the builders, some of the tech, the quickness of that team, and like you said, you guys have you're on par with your IP for their vision of what you guys are doing. You guys are kind of right in alignment, so it made sense. And then I think you guys have also kind of, like, I saw it later inside the plan. I'm sure we'll get a longer, more detailed look at some of this stuff. But obviously, you guys, you had some hints over in that roadmap that we were, that we famously over on our channel took a look at live on stream. You mentioned specifically Kart Racer and their Vampire Playground, because I remember that they were building some the 3D Kart Racer and stuff like that. So is that part of some of the long-term stuff that you guys are looking or wanting to take advantage of? Is the talent that they have to bring that to the Derp kind of universe?
Totally. When we first started talking to them, when we first started talking to Jacob, there was a lot of discussion on they have a lot of things in flight. They also have things like the Vampire Invasion collection, which is sort of I guess the primary collection. It's all of the sort of that their holder base is sort of made up of that collection of Vampire Invasion. So yeah, super cool collection. But the things that they have in flight, specifically Kart Racer and the Vampire Playground, these were things that they kicked off last fall. Again, I don't want to share too much of the story, but they started with the playground, and it was maybe a little too ambitious for the resources that they had available to them. And the Kart Racer was actually a part of that world that they were building, and they decided to cut scope, sort of reduce down to something that they felt like was a feasible deliverable for them. And so they started focusing on the Kart Racer. Maybe you guys have seen the video they put out.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely a part of the conversation. What we've decided, of course, is again, that I mentioned this in this thread, is that there is really great alignment between the skills that they have and what we want to do. Derp Birds isn't a gaming project, so it's not like we're all of a sudden going to pivot and be like, yeah, this Kart Racer is going to be the focus of Derp Birds. It's not. But we are, of course, thinking about how should we incorporate it? How do we incorporate it? Obviously, we want to bring it into Derpatonia, right? So getting to race through Derpatonia, and as you guys know, we have Outposts coming up. The idea of being able to sort of see some of those locations that we're describing in the Outpost. Of course, that's something we're thinking about. But if we're going to do it, and I hope this is. I feel like it's pretty true. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way. So a part of that process would be really diving into what they have right now as the alpha. Really, I don't want to say overhauling it because the foundation's there, but we definitely want to polish it up quite a bit. In addition to the facelift that it would get, sort of the alignment with the Derp IP. Right. So yeah, it's definitely. We don't have a date or anything like that. We've got a ton of huge deliverables that we're still working on that they've immediately just come in and sort of taken on. But we are thinking, and if you guys don't know, the Derp Snell thing, that's a community meme. They've been talking about snell racing for at least 12 months. I don't even know where that came from. Actually, I do kind of remember where the meme came from. But
is it not safe for Derp meme?
I was going to say, that's safe for work or not safe for Derp?
There's so many fun little things that you guys have, and we snuck one of those over in the thumbnail. We'll do a look at that a little bit later, but that's cool, guys. So basically, you guys were able to acquire them with a partnership that made sense. Collectively, the two teams where you guys aligned in made sense for them to kind of jump on board, and you guys actually acquire them, which actually I think in our mind, you would love to see that projects kind of combine together to grow something bigger versus, hey, somebody take this away from us because we just can't do it anymore. Or, most of the time it feels like, hey, you guys are trying to sell something that nobody wants. So when you have people who are hungry and able to build, and maybe they didn't knock it out of the park the first time, but you see that all the time with mergers and companies where they bring something together to create something amazing. They each had their own skill set. So I think the partnership was
100%.
unexpected for us, but obviously if you're paying attention to some of the things in here, I saw it over inside the roadmap here. I'll have to pull it up later. I saw the bat wings on some of the derps, and we were trying to figure that out. We thought there was like dinosaurs or something going on. But it's always fun to see like the little Easter eggs inside of each of this. So really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Also amazing artwork and poster here from the Bajuzki team. So
love that poster.
Looking forward to more info on that, man. And like you had mentioned over here, I think one of the big things that we wanted to kind of jump into, I know you guys have been over on some shows here recently. I saw you over on Blake, you got over with Thor, and just everything over on Twitter recently. But obviously is the Outpost era right now. And we're getting closer and closer to October. So coming up, and I'm sure, I don't know if you guys have any more plans here over at, you guys are going to be at NFTLV, right?
Yep.
Cool. So we're looking forward to seeing what you guys have. Are you guys going to have, just quick on that, are you guys going to have any more of the card packs out there?
We will, yeah. We got quite a few, and I took a limited number to Rare Evo. Obviously, Rare Evo was a blast, but I feel like, NFTLV is at least for now, it's still the Cardano sort of like NFT, yearly. So I'll be taking a ton of them there. There should be more than we need.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to getting up there this next weekend where we're getting ready to go to Utah for a few days for my birthday. I actually turning the big 3-5 over here on 35 or so. I don't know. We're right there. I got 1 year left over here, but I'll be up there. So looking forward to stopping by later in the month. But no, man, the Gold Rush Outpost over here, we've seen, we've covered it a little bit over on our channel. You guys have talked about it quite a bit, but I think it opened up, like, I think a lot of people's minds, and I see it now. I don't know, like, we call it like the miner meta that's coming out right now. Like any new project that comes out, hey, Derp Birds Goofy Gophers has this new, utility to them where they can go ahead and help manage miners. But you guys took it one step further, where not only can you guys took advantage of that, but you like gamified it in a way for your own project and your own community to make it something completely new. And we hadn't necessarily considered that when we first thought about it. Can you kind of give a little maybe backstory to how, like, okay, cool, we can get crypto miners, we can take advantage of it. They have really good prices right now. It's in the bear. It actually makes the most sense to get them now, and you can do really well with this. What made you guys want to be like, okay, we're going to take this one step further?
So a bit of backstory is right after we launched the original collection back in 2021, it was something we considered. There could not have been a worse time. Obviously, the price of Bitcoin and everything was super. It was on its way up to 70,000 or whatever at the time, and but also being based out of the US, we just couldn't do it anyway. Like even if it had been a great idea, we couldn't do it. I won't go into all the details, but we've done a ton of work over the last year-ish. It's been about 5 months or so since we finally got it established, but we have the offshore corporation, the offshore foundation, so we're able to sort of dabble in some of these things that would have made it impossible for us to do being based out of the US. So it was that, and it was this idea that we really wanted to do something. Like, I think something that a lot of large projects struggle with is onboarding new people. Mallard Order, Apes, well, maybe not so much Ape Society. It seems like people still really want to onboard the Ape Society. But I think it might be a more accurate statement to say, like, mid-tier projects, like Derp Birds, like if you're measuring by volume. Not mid-tiers like you're rating them or anything ranking, but just purely like ADA, volume. Exactly. If you're going off volume, like, everyone that's outside of the top 10 and maybe in the top 50, but outside the top 10, mid-tier projects, like, you really have to be creative to like find something to sort of incentivize people to join. Last fall, this year, or around this time last year, we had that, right? We launched partner staking. That was a big incentive for people to come in. We were adding a bunch of projects to partner staking. People were buying their first Derp Bird to participate in that. And so we're always thinking, like, I'm a product designer, so I'm always thinking, like, how can we onboard people? How do we make it rewarding? And that's particularly difficult in NFT projects because you need to onboard people while at the same time rewarding your existing community, right? If you're going to do something new, the people who are supporting your project should be rewarded in some way. However, if you go too far on either side of that, right? If you make the rewards too crazy for the existing community, then it looks as if I'm an outsider, it feels as if I'm disadvantaged. like, I don't want to participate in that because I'm not winning equally to people who are already in the project.
100%.
And if the rewards aren't great enough, then it feels as if you're sort of like, you know, not appreciative of the people who have supported your project all along the way. So we'd been thinking about that for a few months, and I was like, no, I don't think the answer is more NFTs. Like, I don't want to do NFTs. You guys may know this. It's been, by the time we launched this, it will have been 20 months since we've dropped, you know, since we sold NFTs, since we've raised funding. It's been 20 months. So over 24 months of existence, it's been 20 months since we've raised data for anything like that. And so we started playing with the idea of we're really focused on the idea of how can we onboard people and meet that criteria that I was just talking about, satisfying the existing community while also onboarding new people. And the idea for mining came up. It was Geek, co-founder, who started, like, you know, we have the offshore foundation. That might be something that we can approach again. And I was like, dude, I don't know. It doesn't seem right for Derp Birds. He challenged me to go away and think on it. And we started having this idea. It started to come together on how we could fit this into Derpatonia in a way that would really align with the story, with the characters that we already have. And of course, in a fun way. Like, we're not going to do it if it's not gonna be fun. So yeah, I think I shared this on Bad Financial Advice, but like there is a sort of a list of things that, like, anything that we do has to satisfy. It has to be fun, and that's somewhat subjective, of course. Not everyone finds everything fun, but it needs to be fun. It needs to be very community driven. It needs to fit the IP. It needs to not sort of violate the story that we've told up until now. And this fit really perfectly. It satisfied all those conditions. So yeah, beyond the mining thing, we started having the idea around mining, and it sort of, we knew we wanted to do it. We did the research, but we had the idea to maybe work with Gophers. And I was literally to the point where I was like, if we can't work with Gophers, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if we want to take on the responsibility of having to acquire the miners and the maintenance and everything involved. And I don't mean us having custody of the miners themselves. I just don't want to go through any of that process. It's a ton of additional overhead that you sort of have to maintain. And so we approached Gophers, and they're like, oh, actually, we're working on something that might be perfect for this. So timing was great on that front. But everything else, like the rest of the details, sort of that are outlined in these slides, and all those infographics that we've been dropping over the last few weeks, all of that was almost felt too good to be true. Like, all the layers that are there just sort of work with the ecosystem that we've developed. I'm obviously super excited for again, there's several more details yet that haven't even dropped around them. I think honestly one of the most fun things about them we haven't revealed yet. So yeah, there's just a lot of layers to all of it.
Man, I'm looking forward to learning more about the whole Outpost thing, because like you said, it gives people who may have missed out on the front end of this, or if they missed out on the entire story arc where you guys have been out, because like you said, you guys have had plenty of different ways to gain different assets with it. Was the last mint itself was it Preds or was it Drapes technically? Because I know Preds you could essentially trade in the eggs and trade in your derps with like your to like upgrade them essentially. Was that considered an actual mint for you guys, or was it the actual drapes themselves?
It was a mint. We just didn't charge for it. Obviously, you're giving up assets, so it's not free. But the last mint we charged for was drapes. Early last year, February last year. A long time.
I was gonna say, with the fact that you guys are able to go where you're at right now without that kind of funding for so long, just says a lot about how you guys have been able to manage the project. Because a lot of things too is, even if there's people out there who have raised a bunch of money that, sometimes they don't manage it very well, or they spend it pretty quickly and then they got nothing really to show for it. So for you guys to be able to get this far without it, and now find it, like you said, a unique way where it doesn't feel like, all right, we're going to sell you another collection over here, and this is why we're obviously we need to raise maybe some funding. But it just feels like, man, they're just selling more stuff to us. This is a really unique way because it gives back to you, to people as well. And it's with a team that has already, like you said, done the legwork, has already, proven with the actual invoices and, receipts of everything that they've been able to do. So it feels a little bit more like, okay, this is legit. You guys are able to do this, and through it, you're able to gamify it in a fun way for your community, where it feels like, hey, if I missed out on the front end, I can get in right here. Or if I don't want to buy in on this because I'm pretty heavy on maybe derps, I can actually participate in this event as well, and not necessarily have to buy a million different outposts. So I love that.
It literally works, or at least I think it works for everyone. Like, if you're not a part of the Derp Birds ecosystem, you get an outpost. The way that I'm framing it's a very safe mint. I mean, I would like to think that we're a pretty, trusted team in the space at this point. And given that I
would say so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I would hope that's a true statement. Given that we're giving back to holders through Outpost, not just through mining, but also through royalties from all of the collections, also fees from across the entire Derp ecosystem. So everything that we have now and everything we're building in the future, right? The whole point of this is for us to show. I mean, we were having this thought, we were having this idea around the time that Azuki did their $40 million raise on their on selling more JPEGs, and obviously they're doing something right? Like, obviously they're doing something right. But to me, what we really want to show is 20 months without raising funding. We've made mistakes with our funding as well, by the way, and we owned it, and we were the ones that paid the price for that. We didn't pass it on to the community and say, hey, we messed up with our funding, sorry, we're leaving because we're not getting paid for this. Instead, we just said, you know what, it was our fault. Taxes are brutal. Crypto is extremely volatile. We'll deal with it. We love what we're building, and we'll continue to grind. We'll continue to build this until we find the right opportunity for us. And this felt like the right opportunity. So what we're really excited to show is that, 80% of what's, as you have pulled up here, 80% of what's brought in goes straight to buying miners. And that 20% is like, just wait and see what we're able to do with just that 20%.
Right.
That represents much more funding than what we've been operating with for a very long time. We've learned how to be incredibly lean through this market, right? And we'll do a lot with very little.
How many miners do you plan to buy? You let us say.
It's more of a geek or Ryan. Another reason why I love working with Ryan from GoFirst is I'm just like, people ask questions about the mining. It's like, I'm gonna defer to Ryan. The price varies. I should probably know the answer to this, but I don't know exactly what the going price is for it right now. But we have a particular funding target. And that'll get us X number of miners.
I want to remember reading like the Kingdom NFT that they had. It was roughly like $5,000 ish for a miner, somewhere around that range. From what I remember reading with it, because basically if you spent the 10,000 on the Kingdom NFTs that they're doing, you roughly got about 2 miners for what they were saying. Obviously that all scales up.
What is really cool right now, it is an insane opportunity. Again, Ryan is the first to say this. It's just the amount of hash rate that we'll get for the amount of funding that we're bringing. Even Ryan's like, God, like it's pretty impressive. So it seems like a really great opportunity. There are so many trends and things that come along. You sort of teed this up as like, sort of the mint meta for sure. Or the mining meta. They're definitely, you're seeing more and more people talk about it. I think people are gonna pursue it, and that's not a bad thing. That's way better utility than what most projects are ever going to provide, anyways. And if that's where NFTs go for the next 12 months, sweet. That's way better than a lot of other utilities.
100%. We tried, we built. You got nothing to show for it. We're out, and then you're left sitting with something sitting in your wallet you probably can't get rid of.
Can't sell. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm in favor of this, but there's been in the last 20 months, right, since we launched Drapes and everything, how many trends have come and gone, right? I'm not going to name them, but we stood on the sideline. We're like, and we even had the community like, are you guys going to do this? Are you guys going to do that? People reach out like, there were people who recommend. I was like, it's not right for us. It's just not right. We'll know it when we see it. And this again, for so many reasons, just really works for what we're trying to achieve.
It's like a great opportunity, like you said. Like it's like, the bear market it was built for this, right? Like this is the perfect time to be able to do this because this is the cheapest they're going to get. And then as long as crypto continues to kind of follow the trend that it has throughout the years, eventually, like you said, this is a great long-term way to raise funds and capital for the Bachelor project. And then, like you said, the way that Gophers and them have done their research to be able to, like, legally, like you said, be able to give back to their holders through doing this, you can feel at least confident, like, hey, we're going to do this. 'Cause that's always one thing I feel like for me when I see, like, hey, we're going to, it's a passive income kind of play. It's like, well, how often do you actually get paid out that passive income ish when they're saying that? So I know that was a question I had asked over in Blake's stream. I was like, hey, because I know Gophers are doing like pretty much like a 6-month burrowing process, and then like every 3 months or quarter they're doing the payouts. So basically you guys are going the 3-month route for everything. So pretty much if you buy into the Outpost, you mint, assuming that everything stays on track, you guys are looking to potentially, like, holders may see something back after the first 90 days. Is that kind of the goal with it right now?
Exactly. Yeah, I should say it's subject to change. I don't foresee it changing.
Right.
We're getting pretty close to the mint. But yeah, that's the goal right now. Is honestly at these prices, just like literally, where can we, like, how much of the existing Derp Bird treasury do we also want to contribute to this? And I feel like that's another important thing I want to mention is not only are we during that 90 days are we sort of compounding the revenue into more miners, but I mean, we want to think like on an ongoing basis, if miners are affordable, is what additional percentage of revenue that we bring in do we want to allocate towards acquiring additional miners, which again still plugs into Outposts. It's all rewards going back to holders. I can't stress that enough. Like if we're asking for funding right now, making sure that you see me say it on Twitter, like we're going together. Like we're not going to come into the space. We know how tough the market is right now, and we also know, like, we've seen a lot of bad actors come through the space over the last year, extract a ton of beta from the space and then peace out or just not deliver anything. And so, yeah, if we're going to do this, if we're going to ask for funding, then we're going to try to do what's right by the community. And even if that means like dipping into our own pockets to try to get even more miners while they're cheap so that we all benefit from it. Yeah, we're all about that.
That's awesome, man. Well, like you said, it feels like a great move, not only for just where it is in the market right now, but also for the community. Like you said, it gets new people in, doesn't alienate the existing community. And if you want to be a part of both, they coincide. The synergy between the two is awesome. The way you've got that done. I think also the fun part about it too, like, is so you can actually integrate the NFTs with the Outposts from the way that we're reading these right now. So. Like you were talking about, we're like, hey, maybe we could have an F35 Outpost right now. Like we could get an Outpost. And so is it like a kind of like a limited amount of people can essentially, I don't know, quote unquote, maybe not like stake, but you said it in a gamified way, like get onto, there you go. Yeah, that's the word right there. Yeah, fortify, right? How does that, there's like any, I know I can't, without going into like too much details, I know you guys have been put it all out there, but essentially, if people have more NFTs and obviously ones that earn more derp, is that making these things stronger, or is it the rarity that scales it out as far as the rewards go, or is it two separate things going on?
It's a couple things going on. I think the real question you're asking, I can't answer yet, but yeah, at a high level, the way it works is all outposts can be fortified. You can fortify your own outposts. Fortifying is sort of like staking. I don't want to call it that. We're not taking custody of your assets, but it's really it's fortifying. You can sort of send your derp character assets to fortify outposts. There's sort of faction matching. So if you have a derp ape outpost, you need derp apes to fortify and so on. Within the Derp Birds ecosystem, every asset has what's called a power score. Again, I won't go too much into details here, but all of them have power scores, and that's based on the overall rarity of the asset. The Derp Birds and the Preds have much higher power score than the derp apes and the derplings. But essentially today, the way it works in our passive staking system is the amount of XP or derp that you earn per epoch is based on the power score. The way that it'll work with fortifying is it's the same way, only that's it's much more than the passive staking reward is today. So it'll be balanced in the same way. It's just that the character NFTs that you have today will earn a lot more if they're fortifying. And then the outposts. I don't think we've said this, but I'll go ahead and say this. I think we're about 100% set on it. Is Outposts will be able to have 4 character NFTs fortifying it. I don't think we've said that anywhere, but it'll be 4.
We need a fourth.
Yeah, I'm sure. Get Malou in here.
There you go.
But Yeah, the 4, I won't go into all the, I'm not the math guy, but I think 4 is like the number that we landed on that we felt is probably the most balanced. It represents a number that most people could achieve if they want to do it on their own. But yeah, it's not trivialized with just like 2 or something. And so it's 4. Once your outpost is fully fortified, the outpost itself will start to generate derp as well. This is all important because as mentioned in one of the infographics we've released, 15%, 10 or 15, I'm blanking on it now, of what's mined will feed the derp LP. So earning XP that you convert to derp, you know, it just provides another sort of reward mechanism. Yeah, 15% there. Yeah. And so, yeah, not only do the characters themselves, and again, it's that symbiotic sort of relationship we talked about, like rewarding the existing holders, but also not disadvantaging the newcomers with the outpost. Is if you're new and you don't have a ton of derp assets and you mint a few outposts, you can go to the community and say, hey, you really want to get your outpost fortified because you want to start earning derp as well. And so you can go to the community and have people who maybe they've already fortified their own outposts and they have a lot of derps left over, a lot of character NFTs left over. Then you can all of a sudden use yours to help them fortify their outposts. So again, win-win. You definitely want to fortify with your characters, and you definitely want your outposts fortified. Yeah. So again, it's just a win-win for both parties.
When you fortify with your NFTs, are they locked?
They're not locked. Some mechanics, I guess I'll talk about a bit, is the way that it'll work is at the end of each epoch, epic epoch, whatever. At the end of each epoch, your characters and your outposts will have the rewards generated, available to you on your account. You have to claim them within an epoch, or they're gone. So it's one click. You're not signing a transaction. You're not doing anything like that. To have the XP sent to your account, like we're looking at here on the exchange, to claim that XP, you're just going to click one thing. So we're not asking for a ton of time. We want to make it easy for people to do. But if you don't claim it, you don't get it. And again, it's probably pretty obvious why we want people to come in, check in once a week, or once an epoch. And we might add ways for people to extend that. I won't get into those details. But on the where was I going with this?
What were we talking about, TJ? The epic, each every few days where we'd have to go ahead and claim it.
Yeah, it's claim the rewards every point. I forgot where I was even going with that.
But no, I mean that's
amazing how many layers there are to it too. That there's so much going on in the background where you are making sure that hopefully people are coming back and engaged and want to play. I think that's some of the things that we've seen from some of these other ones that have kind of tried this but didn't have this gopher side, which is really what I think is kicking it into that next level of this, and then getting people to stay in and involved.
Well, I mean, on top of some of these things, like the fortifying, we have more plans for that because we want it to be dynamic. We want people to be engaged. We want people to be participating. We want people to sort of be working with each other. And TJ asked about if assets are locked. They're not locked. What you can do, so if I'm fortifying TJ's outpost and he wants to be a dick, he could try to kick my derps out of his outpost right before the epoch ends. So we'll have a few safeguards in there so you can't grief people.
That's kind of like getting out. Someone just goes to sell their derp while you're trying to
get griefed on your outpost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's that.
That's funny.
Exactly. So yeah, what we're gonna try to we'll try to put a few. And the same the other way goes. If you're fortifying someone's outpost and you're last minute, you're gonna pull all of your characters out. They're not locked in, but we will associate them with that outpost until the end of the epoch. So you can't try to rug people with your derps one of their outposts.
Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah.
Can somebody sell one of theirs that they have there? What will that eliminate that reward from them? I don't know. I mean, that's too high level stuff, just too deep, but just the first thought in the head.
Basically the moment that an asset, I think this is a geek question, but I think the moment that an asset would be sort of removed, the association between that derp and your account is removed once it leaves your wallet. So if it moves the wallet for any reason, it's no longer associated to your account, which means it's no longer the person with the outpost would still get that reward at the end of the epoch,
right?
Because that way you can't hurt someone like that. But and again, a lot of other layers here. There's also upgrading. You can use a derp token to upgrade your outpost. So
that makes sense.
I don't want to get into how the visuals change. That's something we haven't showed off yet. But all the outposts come in particular state, and as you're upgrading, you can upgrade your outpost in a number of different ways, actually, using the Derp token. The visuals will change in some way of your outpost.
That's awesome.
And you can again, we're setting up this whole dedicated app that will be live from day one. So you will mint your outpost, which is this, oh my God, I can't wait for people to see the mint experience.
Oh, man.
So the mint
Can you show it
experience,
now?
I can't. No. But you'll mint your outpost, and we want people to go straight from like, boom, your outpost is revealed, to now go look at it in this dedicated app that we're building for this. It fits into the Derp ecosystem, but we want it to build, again, we want this to feel like a game. And so the experience that we built here is, I think it's going to be pretty well received. But yeah, you can upgrade your outpost with Derp. You'll increase the amount of earning sources from all earning sources as you're upgrading your outpost.
Nice.
And then there's also customization. I think we shared that off on Thor's show, where we're working with a lot of different projects to create like custom skin packs or whatever for your outpost. I think we dropped the tweet. It was after this, I want to say this. So this is showing that there's all the different locations. Dude, when I say the amount of artwork, and shout out to Bajuzki again, that has gone into this is insane. Not only are there the 4 factions, right? So we're looking at Derpling structures here. It's cardboard. They're kids, so they built it with cardboard boxes. But based on the location, they all have to vary. So yeah, we're looking at Pinnacle Peak here, our Pinnacle Perch on the right, and it's all covered in snow. But there are more layers to the visuals there that again are tied to upgrading. But then all of the skins that we're releasing will work with every faction's outpost in all of the locations, in all of the outposts conditions, in all of their upgraded states. So to make all of that work is, again, shout out to Jacob from Bajuzki, like huge undertaking.
I can imagine, man. Like I said, this is where I think with you guys doing it this way is it doesn't feel like, oh, they're just looking for something new, is because the amount of detail and time and effort that you guys have put into this, it really shows. Like even just with this right now, like, hey, you got a different location, basically, the snow version versus the swamp, right? Like there's two obviously visually distinctive. You can tell where you're at. Like Nick said, there's more layers that go into that when it comes to upgrading, and like you said, maybe some skins and things like that. So that's why I feel like with you guys are doing it right. Like if you're gonna do it, like you've really put the time and the effort to really make that experience fun, and it gives people layers to kind of dive into, to really be like, oh, you know what, I really like collecting this one, but I don't have one of this. And then, like you said, it just creates an environment for people to like conversate and be like, yeah, I want to go ahead and collect this stuff on top of everything you got.
I think the nice little visual changes you're talking about too, the nice detail you guys are throwing in, because I instantly think of Clash of Clans when you upgrade the walls, that they just change from like wood to diamond. So the visual change, because the upgrade, if you have a better outpost, it should show or reflect that. So I love that you guys are doing that.
100%.
And it changes per the location too. Like that's even, like I said, that takes a lot of, it's not just like, hey guys, we've got these little different ones. It's like, no, I got all of them inside of each one of these individual ones that all have something unique to them, or some sort of like distinction.
All of these locations for the factions, the way they vary, the skins, the upgrades, like, we have a target of 15 one-of-ones, which are all in their own unique locations. They'll be dynamic in their own ways. Some limitations there, like skins aren't going to work with them, but it's a ton of work, but I'm like, we're having an absolute blast, like just putting all this together.
Yeah.
So
super
stoked for the whole thing.
It's not a little green or yellow sponge sitting in our wallet. Like we've been sold some of these fake little metaverse plots that have never worked out over the long term, which is really cool. You'll never look at these in your wallet. Ideally, you will always be coming to the app to check it out, and there will be reasons for that. Oh, dude, I love that, man. Hey, shout out. This is what we were talking about. We need the F35 Outpost, so we'll have to get something together. So I'm usually 100%. One of those ones where I missed out, like I said, on the original like old money mint. I went really hard on the second one because I was like a big fan of the community from that. And there's a lot of projects like maybe we missed out in the first, or you kind of at least wait to pan out and see if you guys are going to do something, and then you're like, yep, this is the one I want to get in. And so I think this is one that we obviously have our eye on right now, and it seems like quite a bit of the community does. Even having a Derp Bird. So are you, just last question on the Outpost, when it comes down to the different things, do you have to have each individual specific, whether it's a Drape, Derpling, or Derp Bird, to actually fortify on one of those? Like if I can't fortify a Derpling on a Derp Outpost,
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You have to have the matching assets, and yeah, there's some reasons for that, but yeah. It also just sort of like fits more of the story, like especially with the Preds sort of being the enemy of all the derps, and so yeah, we wanted to be tied to the factions.
Nice, dude. Well, man, I just took in a lot of information all at once here. There's so much to take in with you guys, and that's where it's been so fun. I feel like we just even like kind of scratched the surface on some of the stuff that you guys are really working on long term. But this feels obviously like the good lead in to going into NFT LV, and then looking forward to your announcement and stuff into more detail next month on the Outpost. Are we gonna have last little like maybe Nafafa question? Are we gonna wait long next month, or are we just we're feeling it out and see what we get?
Don't
have to go for man. Like, hey,
is
like Halloween's like a trick or treat, or is it like?
Yeah, I've been burned. Yeah. I've been burned too many times. So
like I got
What's that?
Gobble was past October at that point.
Yeah. It is definitely October. Like without a doubt, it's gonna be October. But yeah, I don't want to say anything because I swear, no matter what I say, like someone's gonna be like, "Oh, you." We
talk about this with Demosthenes, how difficult it is, where he's just like, I don't even know. I don't give exact dates anymore because that's just a curse where something's going to come up exactly on
even a week before.
Like 5 hours. Yeah, exactly. So
exactly.
Clip out that comment.
Because you're never going to make everyone happy at that point. So instead, rather get it done right and then release, and you guys will know when it's ready because it'll come out.
Dude, one thing I'm worried about is there's a lot of Derp Birds community, like OG community, who are like, they're already DMing me. They're like, hey, I'm going on vacation in October on such and such date. They're like, don't do it at that time. And I'm like, oh God, like there's no way. Like someone's going to definitely be on vacation.
Is it safe to say though, that if you're a holder of some sort, like you'll have a way to get involved without having to rush to mint kind of thing?
This is a very tough, controversial sort of decision we made. Is we don't want to do any whitelisting, and it is very tough. Again, to sort of harken back to what we were talking about, like balancing the rewards between for the existing community and also making something that's enticing. I'm not a big fan of whitelisting to begin with, but also I would love to hear what you guys think. Like I've been asking a lot of people this, is if you look at a project, I think it's easy to understand and accept, of course they're whitelisting their existing holders.
Right.
But does that leave some sort of like feeling of like I'm somewhat disadvantaged, I'm not whitelisted for that? That's what we're trying to balance.
I think it's a tough question
for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you're just like, hey, we want to get new people in, we're just opening it up. I mean, and the people that have been holding out for 2 years would be like, about us, man. We've been waiting. Come on. So yeah, no, I mean that seems perfectly fair, especially. And I mean, there's opportunities for people to get a derp if they really like to and get in on that. I just think that you have to reward those people that have been and help support in the beginning that let you get here.
Yeah. But I know your mindset is you want to get new people in or involved as well. So you, instead of having it just whitelist to the community, you're recycling the same people, just getting all those outposts. So I can definitely see the pros and cons and the internal battle you guys might be facing right now when choosing to do the whitelist or not.
Or even like maybe like a small allocation towards it or something, or a raffle system. I don't know. Like if you really wanted to go that route.
Whitelist. Yeah, no, I like it. It's tough to not, I just think that no matter what, people are going to be.
You're never going to please everybody.
Happy. That's the problem, because you only have so many limited ones. You can't be like, hey, we're just going to open it up. It's, a billion of them. So to get with all, especially how many assets you guys have at this point too, to do Drapes, Derplings, Derps, it wouldn't be possible to do all those. So there's going to be some people upset there, and then in public that aren't in are just going to be like, well, I can't afford Derp, but I still want one of these. So it's a difficult thing to balance. I don't know. Yeah, I think Tommy said like a lottery or something for maybe some.
You could gamify it. So what you could do is you could allocate maybe 2,000, get pulled off to like a questionnaire, and it's just a little Derp trivia. And the first 2,000 people that make it through that, then maybe they know a little bit more about the project, and they
more work. Perfect.
Yeah. I don't know, whatever it is.
I might have to dust off the Daedalus wallet too.
Yeah. No, there's no easy way to do that, though. I hear what you guys are saying. It's just as long as you've got. I think as long as you guys are either taking community feedback for like the mint times and stuff like that too, because that's also another one where if people are like, hey, it's middle of the week or a weekend or something like that, maybe at least polling it to say, hey, these are what we're thinking, or doing it over like a set number of days. Because I remember when Cornucopias did their launch, they had different like big size plots all the way down to the smallest ones. They did it over like a 4-day window or something like that. So that I don't know. There's no easy way.
Derp tattoo. Anyone with a derp tattoo gets a whitelist.
There you go.
No, actually, yeah, we sort of have that. Yeah, that's a joke right now.
That's it. Get a derp tattoo. Get a whitelist. Fight to the death, or he cuts it off.
Slumber Shark. Orange Shark survive. No whitelist.
He said whitelist is for the week. Before that, yeah, he said whitelist for the week.
Yeah,
show up to the Rumble.
That's a tough one inside the chat, that's for sure. But yeah, I think man, I don't know if you guys got any last minute questions here. We're gonna go break into towards as we wrap this up over here. We got a fun little giveaway tonight that is gonna make you guys think for a second. I'm gonna pull an image up over here. If you guys been studying our thumbnail this a little bit, I told you guys inside the Derp chat, pay attention to the Gordos inside this thumbnail. We did a little Easter egg, and there's gonna be a TJ. We know how we do a keyword inside the chat.
Yes.
The keyword is going to be the correct number, and they're going to have to put the exclamation point correct number in there, and those are the eligible people, and we'll run the giveaway that way.
Okay.
So you guys gotta. I'm not going to tell you what it is, so you're going to have to take a little the guess here, and it shouldn't be too hard.
I don't remember how many there are.
Interesting.
I figure why not? Let's have some fun with this. So, I don't know if that's a good image over here or not, but let me pull up a better version of it so it doesn't look like shit over here on the screen when I'm pulling it up for you guys. But yeah, if you guys have any last minute questions over here for Dave, I appreciate you taking the late time to, like you said, if you are, what time is it? Past your bedtime, right? Pretty much.
It's 8:07 p.m. It's 8:07 p.m., which is
right,
it's good enough different.
It's right there, right? So we got to go ahead and wrap this up over here. So let me pull this image up. TJ, I will give you the number on the backstage of the chat here. And we can go ahead and zoom this in for you guys.
You
Share
need to
screen.
give them like a window too of like where it ranges from.
No, that's not. I'm not even take us all off the screen at this point. Let's do full screen. See if I can zoom this in. You guys also can check the thumbnail here. So if you don't know what a Gordo is, these little I don't know if you can share any of that backstory of this, maybe Dave. Wow, how this.
I wish I knew the backstory. Like actually, yeah, the quick backstory is. I think it was the first. No, it wasn't. It was one of the pred faces. We did a few of the pred faces are supposed to be more on the sort of derpy, sort of comedic relief side. I don't know where the name Gordo came from. Like why the community named him Gordo. They immediately and it became a meme. There's a lot more to it, but I'm not the lore master of the memes.
Awesome. Well, I remember seeing it either from it was either Grimmy. Or
it came from Grimmy. I'm pretty sure it came from Grimmy.
Lord Flacco, one of the two of them. Yeah, one of those guys over there. That I was talking to Shiz about this right here, where you got the little the Gordo pred over here on the bottom right. But yeah, so what we're gonna run the exclamation the giveaway. So you're gonna put an exclamation point and then the number in front of it.
So far, no one's got it.
So far, no one's got it yet. I can tell you it is less than let's call it less than 15. But more than 5.
What'd you say? Okay.
That's their range. They can go ahead. We'll that way we'll shorten it up.
But stupid range.
I don't know.
That is a wild range. Yeah, I don't know where you got that from.
I picked a number, dude, just for sake over here. So we'll go ahead and we'll let that run here for I don't know, another minute while we exit out over here. But yeah, Dave, what are you most looking forward to, I guess, over this next month outside of obviously getting a new mint out there for the project? Do you guys have more stuff that you guys are getting ready to announce, or is this kind of just the start for what you guys got in the works?
We've got more stuff coming this week. Like we've got more news coming this week. We've actually, I would say for the remainder of the year, like obviously beyond Outposts, beyond the announcement from today, there's something else that we're planning on dropping this week. I think over the next couple of weeks, we have something else to sort of show off that I don't think anyone's expecting. I'm super proud of it. It's a little bit different for us. And then, that's just like over the next 30 days. We still have Adventures in Derpatonia at the end of the year. I'll have to come back and talk all about that at some point. But that's going to be a pretty big deal as well. I'm super stoked to I am like over the moon about Outposts. Like I'm really excited for us to get those out there. But we started Adventures in Derpatonia like 8 or 9 months ago, and I'm really excited to get back to that.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. I'm like I said, the adventures part is another. I don't even know where to go. Obviously, seeing the stuff with the Bajuzki right now, there's like possibilities are endless for you guys, and it sounds like you guys are hard at work on a bunch of stuff. So looking forward to that, and obviously, definitely we'll have to do a recap when it gets closer to that time and have you back on, not a year later over on the stream.
Ideally, yeah,
100%. So TJ, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run this. I see some right answers over inside the chat. I've seen quite a few.
At least 19 of them. So.
All right, well, let's go ahead and run this giveaway. You guys are going to win a Derpling with this giveaway here tonight, and we appreciate everybody also who's hanging with us. And before we quick run that, if you guys are enjoying the show right now, make sure to hit that like button down in the description of the video. If you guys are chatting with us, that means you guys are subbed. We do have subscriber mode only on, so we appreciate everybody who's tuning in with us every single week. And if you're new here, we appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. So, TJ, without further ado, let's go ahead and run that giveaway.
3, 2, and... D5 FOMOFO.
D5 FOMOFO. Did he get it right there? There it is. TJ, what was the correct number?
It was 8.
8 Gordos over here for everybody. So
let's see him.
So you got right down here. We'll keep it easy with you guys, right? So we've got a Gordo right here. We got number 1. You got a Gordo right here in the logo, number 2. We'll sneak over here. I don't know if anybody caught it. We added this one late yesterday over inside your crown, number 3. You got 4 up in the Cardano side, 5 up here on the little rocket ship meme. You got 6 down here on the S, and 7. That was probably one of the harder ones down here on the Outpost. And then number 8 sneaking in right here on the LR. So there they are right there. We and appreciate everybody showing up tonight who's got in there. I thought that was a fun little sneak over there because I had a lot of fun making that thumbnail. This week it was just there were so many memes, so much fun stuff that you guys have, and that makes it so much better as a content creator to be able to like know the inside jokes and know what the community's got going on and have like the material to actually build something fun like that. So huge shout out to you guys, and also a huge shout out to everybody over inside of chat. Dave, we appreciate you having us on, or I know we had you on over here, but we it felt like we were listening to the Dave show over here again every time you're on.
I was going to say, I mean, I was already tired before this kind of started, and I'm exhausted now after taking in all that information. I feel like there's steam coming out of my ears.
Yeah. But no, seriously, we do appreciate you jumping onto the channel. Looking forward to seeing you over at NFTLV this year, and looking forward to Outposts next month. Obviously, big shout out to the community, all the derps showing up inside of chat tonight. A little gang glizzy for everybody over there who's listening, and we will catch you guys this Friday over on the podcast. Dave, we appreciate you jumping on tonight, and we will chat with you a little bit later.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's fun.
Anytime, man.
Yeah.